Hi there, this is Paige, a Stamp Girl here on YouTube, and welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to share with you the cards that I made for the Smash That Small Paper Pad collab. This is hosted by my friend Deb, who is Deb Houck's Crafty Cottage here on YouTube. And down below in the description box, I'll have a link to all the participants in this collaboration. Now, the purpose of this collaboration is to use our small paper pads, anything smaller than a 12 by 12. And I decided to use some paper pads from the Stamps of Life, and this is a couple of them, the Thank You collection and the Celebrate collection, and then I know I had papers from a couple of different ones. I used to belong to the Stamps of Life card club many years ago for quite a while, and so I have a lot of their older pattern papers. And one of the things I liked about the club, or I should say one of the things I like about her pattern papers, and then it's the same that kind of drives me crazy, is that it seems to me a lot of the patterns tend to repeat from one paper pad to the next, which to me got kind of boring. But the good news is that the colors also coordinate from one paper pad to another. So what I did is I went through a lot of the partial paper pads that I had and just separated them by colors and or patterns that went together. So that's what I pulled out, just the stack of papers from the Stamps of Life and coordinating colors and patterns. So having said that, then I also focused on using some dies from my stash, and more specifically probably background dies. So I have this one, and I'm sorry if there's a glare. This one is from Honeybee Stamps, called Watercolor Lines Cover Plate. I had fun with that one. This one is also from Honeybee, and it's called Candle Cover Plate. This was a fun one too. This one is Flower Petal Cover Plate, and it has this this one and then a coordinating one called Flower Centers that just leave a little dotted line around the flowers. And then I have Fluttering Hearts, and this leaves a little piercing on the hearts, and this one cuts the hearts out from the background. So I used those for some of the cards. So here's the one I did with hearts, and I did not finish this card. I made this after Valentine's Day, and I wasn't really in the mood to do a Valentine's card, so I just kind of left it blank for now. I'm thinking some kind of a friendship sentiment on the front, nice and big. The paper that I used, the pink paper, is one of the patterns from the Stamps of Life, and then the background is some white cardstock. Here's where I used the watercolor lines die. I die cut it from a couple of different papers. I die cut it from some kind of ombre type pattern paper from the Stamps of Life, and then I also die cut it from black cardstock. And so the pieces that cut away from the black cardstock I inserted there, and the pieces that cut away from this background I inserted here. And then I had these two backgrounds, not really sure what to do with them, and so I pulled out from my Easter drawer these little felt pockets, and then I had some ephemera. I wonder if it was Doodlebug, and I just tucked the little bunnies inside. And then these stickers are from Dollar Tree, and then the sentiments were also in the ephemera pack. And then the inside is just some more Dollar Tree stickers. I think they're both similar. Yep, they are. So I did it with a black background. I also used the die with white, and in fact I believe I did the white one first. So again, from pattern paper, and then put those pieces here, and white cardstock, and put those pieces there. And then again from the Easter drawer or bin, I pulled out these stickers that I believe were from the Dollar Tree. And then some ephemera pieces. I think these were from a Doodlebug collection. And then the inside of that one, and the inside of that one. Here are the ones that I made using the candle background. In fact, these were the first two cards that I started with. So from white cardstock, I used the die and cut out the background, and then I put some paper from the Stamps of Life behind it. It was printed, so you really can't tell what it says, but I figured that was a good way to use up that particular piece of paper. And then I had from Stamps of Life this Happy Birthday die, and I die cut it once from pink and once from blue, and then several times from white, and stacked it and just went over it with a Wink of Stella pen. And then this is some ribbon from Stampin' Up! That closely matched the colors, and again more ribbon from Stampin' Up! Then I took a yellow bottle of stickles, or a bottle of yellow stickles, and put it in all of the flames of the candles. And then just let that dry. Here's the inside. This is another similar die cut to Happy Birthday, Make-A-Wish, also from the Stamps of Life. And I believe this one is done in blue. Yep. So I have those two cards. And then I pulled out some dies from Spellbinders and just die cut these out of cardstock, put them on two layering scalloped rectangle dies from Stampin' Up! I want to say if they're from The Sweetest Thing or something like that. Anyway, and then popped it up with craft foam. And then just used a couple different patterns. And whenever possible, I use some of the solid paper from the Stamps of Life in the background, just to use up more paper. And then this is washi tape from the Stamps of Life. Again, wanted to use it up. Which I didn't quite use it up, but I was able to use quite a bit. So these next cards are very similar to this in that it was a Spellbinders die, just a different design. But the concept is the same. So on these, where I put the smaller piece on the bottom with the sentiment, on these cards I put the smaller piece at the top and put the sentiment up there. And again, washi tape on the insides. And then I had these two. Now, a lot of these were scraps rather than full-size pieces, so I went through, what I actually did is I went through my scraps and found some strips, and then when I needed more strips, then I cut some more down. But a lot of these papers I used were not the full 6x6 pieces, but rather scraps that I was able to use up. This sentiment I had to restamp, and I got it off just a little bit, even though I used a stamp positioner, so it's kind of, you know, blurry, but I kept it. And then this one is just stamped a little bit more clear. This particular die right here is from My Favorite Things, and this leafy die, I don't recall where that's from. I'm going to say it might be from Stampin' Up, but I'm not really sure. But anyway, the leaves are popped up with dimensionals, the flowers popped up with a circle of craft foam in the center. And then more washi tape on the inside. Here and here. And then I just have a couple more cards. I actually have 4 more cards, and I just interchange some of the pieces. So this is a die from Elizabeth Craft Designs. It's one die that cuts out the background and also cuts out the inside of the petals. So I die cut it 2 times the background with light pink and 2 times the background with dark pink. And then I just interchanged the little pieces for the insides. And I did it one at a time so that it would be easy to get the petals where they belong. And then the insides of these, I believe, is washi tape from Stamps of Life. And then this vertical sentiment is from May Made It. And then these two, again, the same thing, a light pink and a darker pink, and just inset the little cutout pieces. And then whenever possible, I used background papers on these cards. So, washi tape on the inside. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 cards and 1 to finish off from using some leftover full-size sheets and scraps from these 2 paper pads, plus a couple more where I hadn't saved the covers. So you'll be seeing more because I still have a lot of paper left from the Stamps of Life, but I used a good chunk of it and I used what I could at this time. Anyway, I would like to thank you for joining me, and now I'm off to create.